almost everything is bad to do against a bigger, stronger guy. I don't recommend fighting bigger, stronger people. Always fight weaker people that are smaller and probably scared of you. That's who you need to fight. So, but if you do have to go against somebody who's bigger and stronger, what does really work? Hey, what's up guys? It's Eli and we're here at Griffonrawl Combat Sports and Fitness here in Mineral, Ohio. And my buddy Eric came down from wherever the hell in Ohio he's from, over at Synergy Martial Arts. And about to do a seminar, but I want to do a quick video. I keep getting lots and lots of requests on things to do against bigger guys. So that's a hard one to kind of answer. So the way I want to approach it is things, how about to avoid against bigger guys? Because certain techniques are going to inherently be better to do against bigger guys, certain ones are going to be worse to do against bigger guys, just structurally. Now, first caveat to mention before any of this is that if you're good enough with your technique, you're going to make anything work on a bigger guy, even if he's substantially bigger. It's just that you have to be that much better with the technique to make it work on somebody bigger and stronger. That's just how it is. Now, but let's look at some things that are probably a bad idea if you're not really great at the technique. Kimuras and Americanas, I would put like toward the top of the list. If you're going to try that on somebody bigger, and Eric's bigger than me, if you couldn't tell that a little bit, so you're like what, 6'8", 6'4", 6'4", okay, and weighs more than I do. So if we're going to look at Kimura typically is from guard or top side control a lot of the time. If I go here against somebody who's much bigger and stronger, he's got a lot of strength to be able to pull his lat and his tricep together. So if I don't have a good angle right off the bat and really lock that up right off the bat, he's going to muscle up into this. And even worse, he can maybe even turn this and reverse it on me if I'm not careful. So I've got to be really slick about setting this up and getting my angle good and making sure my body is really isolating whatever limb that I'm trying to attack. Because if that's not happening in the very beginning of it, then I'm not going to be able to muscle that out. I can't out-muscle the bigger, stronger guy. That's just the problem. So Kimuras is one that I would definitely say. Now, having said that, there's lots of ways that I can make this work. If instead I want to make this work and I can come up here, then I need to use the leverage of my entire body. If I'm just trying to fight upper body versus upper body, bigger, stronger guy wins. So Kimura, I would say probably avoid that against bigger guys. Don't make that one of your first moves. In line with that, the branch up version of Kimura, the Americana, if Eric's on his back here, and even if I've gotten the mount position or side control, if I go here and I don't have really good form and really good isolation, I'm basically fighting upper body versus upper body on this. So if Eric wants to muscle out of this here, he's pretty strong to be able to do that. There are ways, of course, that I can like tighten up the technique and everything, but Americana is a lower percentage, just inherently lower percentage move, and it's hard to make it work on somebody who's significantly bigger and stronger. So I got a big strong arm here, and I'm a smaller guy. I'm probably not going to be hitting a lot of Americanas, and it's not the greatest strategy because if I'm not careful about it, not only can he muscle out, he could possibly even roll me over, reverse the position on me, and now I've not only lost the attack that I started, but I've also lost my position in the process of it. So Kimuras, Americanas, let's probably avoid those. Other submissions to avoid. Guillotine choke, I probably wouldn't put high on the scale of what I would be attacking a bigger, stronger guy with either. The reason for that is because he's got a big, strong neck. It's attached to big, strong traps and big, strong shoulders. And so a lot of the time he can muscle out of that. So, but again, like with anything else, if my technique is precise, my angle is really good, I can choke a big, strong guy too. It's just a matter of perfecting that technique, using the setup, using the timing, using everything as precise as possible so you can out-leverage and out-technique the big, strong guy. Triangles, if you've ever tried to triangle a power lifter, you see that it's pretty futile a lot of the time. It can be done, but if the guy's got a lot of big traps, neck, shoulders, and stuff up here, just getting the angle and the closure that I need for my legs to be able to triangle with the guy, he's going to be posturing out. He's going to be very strong in his back to be able to posture. He's going to be able to stack, so that's another bad thing that he can do to me. So whenever we get here, if I'm throwing up with my little scrawny legs and trying to get this guy here, and he's going to be strong here to be able to open that, so getting his arm across, spinning, turning the angle, trying to get that to happen, it's going to be very difficult. If he stacks me, I'm going to be in for a world of hurt. If he postures, if slamming is legal, or depending on what the rule set is, I'm in for a lot of danger if I'm throwing up triangles against this guy. So, it sounds like I'm saying almost everything is bad to do against a bigger, stronger guy. I don't recommend fighting bigger, stronger people. Always fight weaker people that are smaller and probably scared of you. That's who you need to fight. So, but if you do have to go against somebody who's bigger and stronger, what does really work? Chokes are good. I did just say that the guillotine is probably not a high percentage one because structurally he has a lot of ways that he can overpower that. But the rear naked choke is one that does the great equalizer. If I can get around to this guy's back, it doesn't really matter how big and strong he is, he's not gonna really stop this blood choke from coming in from here. This is gonna put anybody out, even if I'm substantially smaller. Take your like 7-year-old kid, if you have one, and let them get on your back and sink in a full rear naked choke, and you're gonna see the power of that one. So that one is probably the ultimate one. Now, straight arm locks versus bent arm locks are gonna be a little better because my entire body, my whole kinetic chain and all that leverage is working against him. If Eric's here on his back and I manage to isolate an arm here, this way, then my entire body is here. Now, of course, there's big, strong guys that can just bicep curl and gonna give you a hard time. But if I'm out here on the lever like I should be, and my legs are activated like they should be, and I'm isolating the shoulder, and I'm really concentrating on the braking mechanics of this, he's literally fighting his one arm versus my whole body, and I have kind of a deadlift, kind of a strong hip pressure behind that. So that's gonna be a very difficult one. Now, another great equalizer as far as submissions to use against bigger, stronger guys are leg locks. That's why leg locks tend to be very popular, especially in the modern era, because there's a lot of really good information and there's a lot of really focus on braking mechanics and positional advantages of how to really isolate the legs and entangle the legs to be able to do that. If we get here, nobody has super strong muscular ankles. So Eric is like 6'12" and 300 pounds. And he's not going to have really strong ankles and really strong ligaments and tendons in his knees, even if he does a lot of good care for those. So when we get here, maybe not the straight ankle, but if we get here and I can turn it into like say an outside heel hook this direction, and I get his legs really bound up, there's a lot of torque on the outside of his knee. Knees aren't made to bend this way here. So once we get into this kind of position, and then I can isolate that heel and rotate it and push his toes toward his butt and expose that heel and really crank on that. It's gonna cause this kind of pressure on the ankle where it's not supposed to turn toward. That's gonna move up to the knee, and his knee's gonna explode out of that heel hook like that. Inside heel hooks are great, outside heel hooks are great. Knee bars are probably one of the strongest things that he could resist if he's got big, strong tree trunk legs. So I would put heel hooks high in the priority of things to use against him. Maybe not knee bars. Straight arm locks, good. Rear naked choke, great. Bent arm locks, probably not the best initial strategy to employ. But like I said, your technique gets good enough, you can hit them on a bigger, stronger guy. But there's kind of a chart that hasn't been invented yet to show what the differential is, what my technique and skill level needs to be to offset the size, and the weight, and the energy, and even the youth, the experience, everything else of the other guy. You get a bigger, stronger, heavier guy that's more technical, you shouldn't be beating that guy. So I guess that's how I'm going to answer that question for the most part. If you guys have specific questions about specific techniques that you would wonder, is this a good strategy or not a good strategy, and you think I might have a valuable opinion on it, then make sure that you send me a message or you send me a comment. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff that I'm supposed to say. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you're in the Mineral, Ohio area, come check out Griffonrawl Combat Sports. If you're over in Newton Falls, Ohio, then make sure you go check out Synergy Martial Arts. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.